My name is Anita. Welcome back to your yoga journey, one that intends to empower you towards a sustainable home yoga practice and build your body awareness through that process. I encourage you before diving into each session to take as much time as you have to deepen your awareness of your breath. And by that I mean taking time to notice qualities of each of your inhales, each of your exhales. Start to feel not only how your physical body responds, but also how you respond on a mental level. I also recommend throughout this series that you begin to incorporate a few cat-cows, as shown in the first session, or even some more components of a sun salutation to warm up your body and connect on a deeper level with your breath through movement. It is this practice, this unguided practice, that will begin to incrementally build good habits for you. I hope you're enjoying the journey, and thank you once again for allowing me to be your guide throughout Yoga on the Road's beginner tutorials. It is my most humble honour to share what I have learnt through the practice of yoga with people like yourself. Thank you. Namaste. Okay, so theme of the day is just two words, cancel and bless. And it's a mantra that provides an opportunity for you to forgive yourself, as well as others, instead of hanging on to negativity. So I guess as part of our humanness, we all have moments where we think something or say something that we potentially regret later. And then it becomes this whole thing in our minds. So I guess cancel is the reminder that yes, we are human, yes, we make mistakes, yes, we learn lessons from mistakes. And it's just being able to, instead of holding on to that as a negative thing, being able to bless the lesson that we take away from the action that we make. So I guess on the mat, that looks like or translates like if we move into something that we find challenging, how we respond to that. And if it is challenging, being able to take the opportunity to go, you know what, I'm here and I'm giving it my best go, and that's all that I can do. Yeah, so it's just really changing your mindset. Cancel and bless. Everybody start on their backs today. Bring your hands to your belly, or one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest. And just start to notice how your breath naturally rises and falls. Notice how your morning has already shaped your breath. And then maybe just reflect for a moment on how your morning has been, how you woke up, how you slept, the things that have already transpired this morning. And then return your awareness to your breath. Notice the feel of it, the texture of it. How it impacts the rest of your body physically. And also to a degree, how it impacts your mental state. Is it that you notice a sense of slowing down or calming? Is it that your mind is still overly busy? And with any observation you make this morning, make it without any judgment of that situation. Just notice it. And then start to increase the breath slightly. And as you increase it, see if you can determine whether you're predominantly a belly breather or predominantly a chest breather. Or maybe somewhere in between. If you're predominantly a belly breather, on your next inhale, fill your belly as full as you comfortably can, without creating any stress or strain in the breath. And then release the breath as slowly as you comfortably can. Till all the air is emptied from belly, from chest. You feel it move out through your mouth, your nose. And challenge yourself to make your exhale slightly longer than your inhale. Then add an element of a pause at the top of your inhale. So as you breathe in, you feel your belly expand. Pause the breath just at the top of the inhale, maybe for a count of 3 or 4, and then slowly releasing that with an exhale. Continue the pattern of breathing in, and at the top of the inhale, pause and hold the breath. Feel into that space and stillness of that pause, and then exhale all your breath completely. And stay with this practice for 5 rounds of breath. The end of that breath, let go of any control you have over the breath. Let your awareness settle on an intention for your practice this morning. That could even be to do with that mantra of cancel and bless and how that might play out in your practice this morning. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And an audible sigh or exhale out through your mouth. Breathe in deeply through your nose. And release the breath through your mouth. And then staying here, laying down, release your hands. Bend your knees. Bring your feet together so that the inside of the toes are touching. And then let the knees drop out to the side. Soles of feet are pressing together. And point your toes. So draw your toes back. As you draw your toes back, press heel to heel, ball of foot to ball of foot. And then with an exhale or an audible sigh, release. So let the legs casually open or soften. Feel if there's any space to create a little bit more openness on your exhale. And then we're just going to move through that active input. So as you inhale, float the toes by drawing them back, press the soles of the feet together. And then as you exhale, you're going to naturally release everything. So take the pressure, relax the feet, and let the knees drop and expand. Feel how that feels in your hips. Work with 3 more with your own breath. So each time you inhale, actively draw your toes back towards your shin, press sole of foot to sole of foot, and then with an exhale, let everything release. See if you can notice with each release whether there's a little more room for openness. Sit or explore this position in a relaxed state. So just let your legs relax. Just allow your mind relax. And during the pause, feel any opportunity for expansion, freedom in this pose. And as we move through our practice this morning, know that you are so much more than any negative thought you've had. Take 2 more breaths here. Use your hands on the outside of your thighs to bring your knees in towards one another. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Add any movement or anything that supports your practice now. And then 2 options to come to hands and knees. So either rock and roll up to a seated position and transition to tabletop, or roll to the side and come up to all fours. Knees are positioned below your hips, hands in front of your shoulder line. As you breathe in, open through the belly. So press the navel towards the mat, draw your shoulder blades back, look forward slightly. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone under, lift your navel up, tuck your chin in. Breathe in. Belly moves forward, front of the body opens. At the same time, the back of your body will contract. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone under, lift your navel up, and feel your belly contract or tighten. Move through 4 more cat-cows with your breath. As you move through the last one, make it your slowest and most intentional and then meet back in neutral spine. This time as we move into child's pose, we're going to take a slightly different variation. So tuck the toes under, bring your knees apart, and then press your sit bones back towards your heels so that you feel a deep openness in the balls of your feet. And just hold for as long as is comfortable. If it's too intense or too much, you can press the top of your feet back into the mat and take normal child's pose. Otherwise, hold for 3 breaths. Inhale, come back to all fours. Reposition the knees below your hips. Keep the toes tucked under. Press down into your hands. Hover the knees off the mat. Engage the core. So really lift the navel up towards the back of your spine. We're holding for 3, 2, 1. Navel is still engaged and strong. Press into your hands. At the same time, lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. First downward dog of the practice. Make any movement that supports your downward dog. So either rolling over the balls of the feet and pressing the heels towards the mat, alternately pedaling out your legs, whatever serves you this morning. Find your way to stillness. Take 2 breaths. Remembering that anywhere we pause throughout the practice is your opportunity to feel expansion and how your body feels within the pose. Last breath. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Step, jump or walk to the top of the mat, or walk your hands back to meet your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Let your chest move in towards your thighs. Press down into your feet strongly. Inhale, lift all the way up. Fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. You're going to move through 3 half salutations this morning, but slowly and mindfully. So as you inhale, float the arms up, super slow. Feel the chest open and expand. As you exhale, soften through the knees, flow through a forward fold, slowly and intentionally as you can. As you inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, forward fold. Imagine it all as one movement. As you inhale, use the support of your core and your legs, rise all the way up. Fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, flow into hands to heart. Keep moving ever so slightly. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, move straight into a forward fold. So moving through smooth transitions. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, flow into forward fold. Breathe in, flow into lift and rise, pressing through your feet or your foundation. Exhale, hands to heart. Continue to flow through 2 more cycles. Inhale, arms float up. Find your own rhythm. Move through 1 more. come into forward fold. And then while you're down there, take your mat and start to put a roll in it. Maybe put about 6 rolls in it. And then press the balls of your feet into the roll and your heels down onto the mat. Okay, great. We're going to move through exactly the same practice, but I want you to be aware of how the sensation changes in the back of your legs, particularly from the Achilles to the calf. All right, join hands to heart, your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, arms float up. Again, we'll make it a super flowy practice. Breathe out, be prepared for it, forward fold. Soon as your chest moves down, notice whether you feel the sensation in the back of your legs intensify. Inhale, halfway lift. Again, can you feel the change? Exhale, forward fold. Press down into the feet, rise all the way up, pressing evenly through the heel and the ball of the foot. Breathe out, hands to heart. I want you to move through 2 more. Inhale. Forward fold on an exhale. Halfway lift, big breath in, feel that expansion. Forward fold, release. Sweep the arms up, energetically activate the legs and the core. Hands to heart. Last round without my voice. Come off the roll, kick your mat back into position. Did you feel that difference? It's quite intense now, distance apart. As you inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, forward fold. Any movement we practice today, bless your attempts at your abilities. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. On your next in-breath, step your right foot back, lower your knee to the ground. If you need to pad the knee up, do so. And then lift the torso up. And then from this position, check that your knee is stacked over your ankle or just slightly behind the line of the ankle. Great. Find your steadiness or your drishti, which is your gaze on a focus point. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Okay, for a moment, I just want you to feel any small fluctuations that your body's making to keep you balanced or to support your balance. And then the challenge element of today is to close your eyes in this pose. And I want you to notice if you feel just as balanced, if you feel more fluctuation in your body, and see how long you can challenge yourself by holding on to any component of the pose longer. So how does closing your eyes affect this pose? Is there a deeper sense of challenge to it? It's tricky. If the arms are tired at any stage, you can rest them back down to the hips. We're only staying here for 2 more breaths. Lower the hands to frame the front foot. Inhale, back toes are tucked under, lift and extend through your right leg. Press back down to facing dog. One breath here. Inhale, float forward to plank, shoulders shift out over your wrists. Exhale, lower all the way down or take modified variation. Inhale, baby cobra or upward dog if you feel like extending just a little further today. Exhale, push back downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. Actually, have we talked about upward dog yet?
No.
No? Okay. Inhale, come forward to plank. Now's that opportunity then, I guess. Exhale, lower all the way down to the chest. Now the difference between baby cobra and upward dog is the hand position. So with baby cobra, the hand position is kind of the upper ribs. If we're moving into the fuller extension, move the hands down to the lower ribs, press the feet into the ground and start to press into the hands. And then press to extend. Great, and really press the tops of your feet into the mat. Perfect. If you need to, you can lower the knees. Tuck your toes under, and then the transition is back to plank, back to downward dog. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale, look forward between the hands. Exhale, step or walk or jump to the top of the mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Press into the feet, rise all out. Breathe out, hands to heart. Breathe out, forward fold, slow and flowy. Breathe in, halfway lift. We're moving to the left leg now, so as you breathe out, step your left leg back, lower the knee to the ground. And then lift the chest up. From this position, check that your knee is stacked over your ankle. Make any adjustments to the legs so you feel balanced, and then inhale, lift and extend the arms up. Again, find a sense of balance, or find the way your body fluctuates to support balance. And then challenge yourself with gently or softly closing down your eyes. Take this opportunity to bless your attempts and abilities in this pose. And acknowledge the challenge that you've just taken on board by closing down your eyes. Notice whether this side feels the same or different. Take 2 more breaths here. Slowly release the arms, frame your front foot, tuck the back toes of your left foot under, lift the knee, transition back to downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Inhale, come forward to plank, so shift your shoulders back out over your wrists. Exhale, lower through chaturanga, all the way to the ground. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, shift your hands down to the lower part of your ribs. Inhale, upward dog. So in this pose here, as much as you can, keep trying to draw your shoulders back. And it's almost like you're feeling your hands drag back towards you. It won't physically happen, but think about dragging your hands back down towards the feet, and that will encourage your shoulders towards one another. Hold for 3, 2, 1. If you can, roll over your toes, press back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here, and then I want you to shift or transition back into child's pose. And again, if it felt comfortable enough for you to explore, tuck your toes under, bring your knees apart, and rest your sit bones back towards the heels. Take 4 or 5 breaths here. On your next inhale, reposition your body. Realign your knees below your hips, reposition your hands. Toes are tucked under. Hover the knees just off the mat. Lift the navel to support the spine. And then as you press into your hands, continue to lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift your right leg, point the toes. So draw the toes back towards your shin, press out strongly through your heel. Bend your knee here and start to open your right hip up, out to the right. Extend the leg, balance the hips out, lower the right foot to the ground. We're moving through the left side. Press into the right foot. Float the left leg up and away from the mat. Float the toes, so draw the toes in towards the shin, press out through the heel. Bend the left knee. Open the left hip so that the heel of the left foot moves to the right side glute or bum muscle. And again, think about keeping the pressure in your hands fairly even. Straighten through your left leg, even or square the hips out. Lower that foot towards the ground. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale, step, jump, hop or walk to the top of your mat or walk back. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Press into the feet, rise all out. Fingertips sweep towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. One last standing position. Inhale, arms float up. Breathe out, flow into your forward fold. Move the chest in towards your thighs. Forward fold or Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Keep the right leg extended. Inhale, lift the chest up. Look down the line of your left leg to check that your knee is still stacked over your ankle. Great. Inhale, float the arms up. Okay. Guess where I'm going with this. We're going to try eyes closed in this. So find your balance first. Make any readjustments to your feet if you need to. So if you know it's going to support you more, lower the whole foot towards the ground. Otherwise, keep pressing into the ball of the foot. Feel any wavering or movement that your body makes to maintain keeping you upright and balanced. And then challenge yourself by closing down your eyes. Feel into any wavering or movement the body makes. It's challenging. Open the eyes. Exhale. Frame your front foot. Lower your back knee to the ground. And this is where we're moving into pigeon pose. So heel toe your left foot all the way to the right side of your mat. And then lower the shin or the lower part of the leg. You might need to adjust the foot straight away, so have a deeper bend in your knee. Keep the hips elevated for the moment, so everything's square. And then with the back toes tucked under, I want you to start inching or walking the toes back until your thigh is comfortable and your front knee is accommodated. Take a block and you're going to place the block under your left sit bone at whatever height feels comfortable. Or a blanket, you can place a blanket roll there. Point your toes, so keep drawing your toes back. Then, if you're comfortable to, you can lower to your forearms. Great. And I just want you again to notice through the pauses what arises for you. So, first of all, your attention might be drawn to what physical components of the pose you feel. And again, if that's like a super sensory feeling, so something that you're really, really alert to, notice what comes up for you. Is it like, ouch, this hurts, we're out of here soon, what can I do to accommodate it, what can I think about to take my mind off it? Notice all that stuff that's attached to anything that you feel in your body and see if you can make any slight changes physically to change what's happening mentally. Stay present with any of that sensation that you notice for 3 more breaths. The process of coming out of this pose is just as important, if not more important, than moving into the pose. So press your hands back down into the mat. Don't move anything with the hips yet. Toes are tucked under. Lift the back knee and you're going to shuffle that back knee in. So you take some of the pressure out of the front knee. Then push into the hands. Push and lift into the back extended leg and slowly start to lift your hips up so that you can slowly unfold that leg that was underneath you. Move back to downward dog and then make any movement in that leg to support it. Take 3 breaths here. Inhale, come forward to plank. Shoulders shift out over the wrists. Sorry if you need to move any blocks, move any blocks. Exhale, lower all the way down. Shift the position of your hands to support cobra. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Inhale. Upward dog, not cobra. Exhale, transition back to downward dog. One breath here. Breathe in, look forward between the hands. Breathe out, step, jump or walk to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Press into the feet. Firm up through the legs, engage your core, sweep your arms up. Breathe out, hands to heart. Breathe in, arms float up. Moving through side B now. Breathe out, flow into forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, step your left foot back. Keep the left leg extended, lift your torso up. Eyeball that front leg to check that your knee is stacked over the ankle and tracking towards the little toe side of your foot. Find some balance. So if you need to broaden your stance, meaning take your front leg a little wider so you feel like there's a little bit more balance, then bend the front knee, lift your arms up, and I want you to feel differences from side A to side B. When you feel ready to explore, if you feel ready to explore, close down your eyes. Notice the differences. Take 2 more breaths here. Open the eyes. Inhale, extend through the front leg. Exhale, bend through the front knee. Lower the hands to frame the foot. You can come back in that. That was so different. Press back downward facing dog just for 2 breaths. And then step or assist your right foot forward between your hands. And lower the left knee to the ground. Heel toe your left foot to the right side of the mat. So you're on the very outer edge of the foot. Lower the shin and the knee to the ground. Make any adjustments to that knee so that you're supporting it. And then with the back toes still tucked under, shuffle the leg back so that the hip moves towards the ground. This time we're taking the block, hopefully yours aren't as far away, and popping it in under the right sit bone to elevate that sit bone. And then make your way back down to your forearms. Change of side is often a change of perspective, so notice what you notice about this side. I'm going to invite you all to point your toes. So draw the toes back towards your shin, press out through your heel, and just notice if that makes any difference for you. It may or it may not. So if it's energy that you can use elsewhere, then you can just relax through the foot. hold for 4 more breaths. See if you can practice those breaths like we did at the beginning of practice. So as you inhale, breathe deep into your belly, expanding it so that it's comfortably full. Pause at the top of the inhale, and then exhale slowly and smoothly. See with the exhale whether you can relax any other component or element of your pose just a little more. And then continue to breathe in. Create a fullness in the belly that's comfortable. Pause at the top of the inhale, and then breathe out and use the breath or the exhale to soften just a little deeper. 2 more breaths, just like that. And then to come out, again, it's just as important that we come out slowly. Press your hands down into the mat, tuck your back toes under, shift your block from beneath your sit bone, and then sit down onto the right sit bone. As you do that, start to extend your legs out in front of you. So it's just like a graceful sweeping motion.
Pretty hard on the glutes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very intense. And remember, like for any of you, this option is just going to work everything, but obviously without the weight of your body pressing into everything. So as soon as I do this, yeah, I can feel that in my glute as well. Yeah. All right. So from here, come back so that you're lying down with your knees bent, hip distance apart. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. So think about the number 4 here. The right knee is open. And then actually we'll do it this way. Take your hands, interlace them behind the left thigh. And then press and extend your left foot up towards the ceiling. Press the back of your thigh firmly into your hands. Great. And then bend your knee. Either stay here, or if it's in you, take the interlace to the front of the shin. And that'll just increase the stretch or the release in your glute. Take 5 or 6 breaths here. Release the interlace of your hands, lower your left foot to the ground, unfold your right leg, and then change the position. So now your left ankle crosses over your right knee. Interlace the hands behind your right thigh. Press and extend your right foot up towards the ceiling, and then press the back of your leg into your hands. Float your toes, so really pull the toes down towards the shin, press out through the heel. Bend your right knee. Keep the hands in this position, or if you can extend a little further, take them to the front of your shin, just below your knee. And the sensation should have changed now to intensifying your left glute. Take 5 breaths here. And at the end of your 5th breath, don't rush the breaths to get there. Unfold the legs, hug the knees in towards the chest, make any movement, and then start to set yourself up with whatever props you need for Shavasana. Now you've arrived at the end of this session, give yourself some time to integrate your practice. Set up your space where you can allow yourself to experience a conscious and restful state. Make sure this space is free from any distractions. You might like to utilize a pillow for beneath your head, a blanket roll beneath your knees so they are slightly bent, and some ambient music. Hit play and surrender your body, mind and soul to stillness. Lay, resting, and tune into whatever sensations your awareness is drawn to for whatever time you have available. Alternatively, if you have your own writing or journal practice, turn to a fresh page, connect pen to paper, and reflect on the movement you have just experienced, including what you noticed during this practice. What felt great in that practice? And also, what did you notice when a pose or movement challenged you? Once again, these unguided practices are helping you set up and create a habit that will support you physically, mentally, and emotionally.